the most restrictive classification.
Yeah, and we thought we'd take a little bit further look into this story, and we found it's an issue that's got people very divided.
This is Call of Duty, the #1 selling video game in Australia. This and dozens of other violent games are available right now to any 15-year-old that wants to play them. So could the introduction of an R rating for video games result in even more violent games in Australian homes?
This is a media which invites people to be participants in gratuitous violence. Where people are exposed to this repetitious, simulated violence, it increases the likelihood of aggressive behaviour.
Currently, any game that is deemed R-rated is banned from being sold anywhere in Australia. In fact, we're the only developed country in the world without an R rating for games.
Well, just because other countries go down a particular path doesn't mean that we in Australia should. We're an independent country. If we're really serious about protecting kids, we'd keep this stuff out altogether rather than lower the standards.
We've now hit the point where the average age of a gamer is actually 30, and they come from all walks of life.
When the government introduced game classifications, most games looked like this, and playing them was considered kids stuff. But as gamers grew up, so did the games that they play.
This is adult content in adult games made for adults and by adults, and we want adult content. We want stuff we can relate to and understand, the stuff that doesn't patronise us.
Instead of exposing kids to more video games that are violent, those in favour of an R rating argue the restriction will in fact protect children from unsuitable content.
This idea that we should just have anything goes because a few adults want to indulge in certain activity is a selfish argument, and we really should put our concern for children ahead of the wishes of adults in this instance.
This is just another mature form of media that should be treated the same as everything else. I think parents want to be educated about exactly what's going on, and by giving them a full spectrum of information right through to the R rating, then it just makes it quite clear that some games are most definitely not for kids.
So will an R rating for games help to protect our children, or will it open the floodgates to more violence in our homes?
And we're joined now by the Federal Minister for Home Affairs and Justice, Brendan O'Connor. Now, Brendan, you're about to go and meet with and try to schmooze the Attorney-Generals ahead of tomorrow's meeting. How exactly are you going to sell this idea to them?
Well, look, it's in the interest of families and gamers across Australia. As it was just said then in your segment, the gamers have grown up, video gaming has grown up, the classification system has to grow up too, and we have to make sure we have one that fits the modern age. There are situations now where dozens of games that are being used by adults overseas but can be used by 15-year-olds here, so we can change some of those things, and I think this introduction would help protect children and guide parents.
Brendan, apart from the gaming industry, of course, who's behind this push to change the regulations? I mean, why do we need it?
Firstly, the overwhelming number of Australians, in my view, support a classification system that would have adults access certain information or material, games or films, and minors access different information, as is the case in the United States, Canada, UK and comparable countries. At the moment, we're one of the very few countries that doesn't have an R18 classification, and in fact the Catholic bishops' submission support R18 classification for video games because they believe it will provide better parental guidance, and I agree with them.
Well, good luck with your dinner tonight, and good luck with the meeting tomorrow, and thanks for your time, Brendan O'Connor.
Thank you very much.
No, some of them are too violent. There's games where you're driving your car and you get points for running over pedestrians. That's too much.
Yeah, I have a really hard time with those ones where you become the first person and all of a sudden people are in the game, because we know that we use that kind of technology in medicine to take people and manipulate the mind, so I'm scared about those things.
I just keep wondering, isn't it going to mean that we have more violent videos? Isn't that the ultimate effect?
Well, as you also said to me today, where are the parents?
Yeah,
it's up to us.
It is.
Now, as we've been experiencing Australia's weather